Any of it working?
Nope, it's still growing.
Dang! Remodulate the dimensional frequency waves.
I've tried it, no effect.
Can we invert the polarity?
Not this time, it's coming in too strong.
There's gotta be something that we can do. We can...
Kid, face it. We're out of time.
Don't worry, we beat him once, we can do it again.
Did we?
What do you mean?
We cheated. We bent the rules. We had to act like him to beat him. And I still just hate that. And now he's still coming back. I compromised my principles and we still didn't win.
And don't you forget it. I told you I'd be back, orange fool. As surely as the anchor returns to the ship, my curse bound us together.
Sean, start the review.
What? Are you crazy? We're a little busy here.
Start the review.
Bolts, what are you... Oh yeah, kid, start it now.
Okay, fine.
And now, for your final moment.
Hello there, heroes, and welcome to the final Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills episode review.
You have failed to fulfill the terms of my curse. Your energy is mine. What? What is this?
Ha! That's what I thought. Your curse said that Sean had to finish reviewing the show, or else you could take his reviewer's energy.
But you didn't collect on that before he started the review. So the rules of magic say that he gets the chance to finish this review and meet the terms. Ah! Blasted fools! I must consult the magical tomes, but rest assured, there will be consequences!
All right, you two, we don't have much time. I want you two to research every bit of data that you can find on magic. The Silver Skull is going to try to find a catch, a condition, a disclaimer, something that he can use. Before he gets back, I want to know what he's going to try to do and how he's going to try to do it.
You got it.
We're on it, kid.
Well, with that excitement out of the way, here we are at the end of this very strange and quite longer than expected journey. May 15th, 2019, I reviewed In the Beginning, the first episode of Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. 16 months later, it is time to review the last. Heroes, let's take a look at the 40th episode of Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills, the show's finale, It's a Gorganus Life. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel, see all of my videos, ring the bell, get your notifications set up so you're notified of whenever I post brand new videos. And if you're interested in lending any financial support to my channel, please check me out on Patreon or Coffee at Orange Ranger Videos. Let's get to the good stuff. It just would not be the last episode of TTAF without starting on the planet Molecula. But that gives me a chance to mention something that I'm not going to have another chance to bring up. When I heard the name Molecula, I always assumed that it was the word molecule with an A on the end. Molecula. It's not, actually. I happened to see the name of the planet on the DVD box, and it is spelled Malechula. That can still be pronounced Molecula. I just found it weird.
Get on with it!
Right you are, MPG. More important things to discuss. For example, Gorganus has a humdinger of a plan this time. You want to hear what it is?
Don't start nothing. Won't be nothing.
Okay, not exactly. Instead of sending a monster to Earth and letting Nimbar react with the Galactic Sentinels, Gorganus is going to wait patiently. Nimbar will wonder what's going on, get impatient, and then make a mistake. Off the top of my mind, something like sending one of the Galactic Sentinels directly to Molecula to do a recon mission. There is some clever thinking in that plan, but still, Gorgie, my boy,
I don't think that's a good idea.
A commenter on my review of The Psychiatrist Part 2 pointed out that it seems like TTAF is ending a lot like Neo Saban seasons of Power Rangers. A two-part story finale followed up by one more single episode. A lot more than you heroes might realize. You see, the final episode of TTAF is a Christmas special.
We have to draw names for Secret December Wing Gift Exchange! Fun time! Hey, chill!
At the cafe, Drew is glued to the television, watching It's a Wonderful Life. But Drew, I thought you didn't watch television! Drew says that it's by far her favorite movie, and she watches all the repeats that come on in the Christmas season, black and white and colorized. Funny enough, the colorized version of this movie was still fairly new at this point. It was colorized in 1986. Drew is so wrapped up in the movie, she won't even allow Lori to order a drink, eventually just shoving her a glass of water. Lori takes her arms full of Christmas presents and goes and sits by Swinton, who's on his laptop, but then their tattoos flash. This gives me a chance to mention something else I'm not going to have another chance to mention. The 90s may have been a different time, but these people were trusting. Bags full of probably really expensive Christmas presents, Swinton's fairly expensive, especially at the time, laptop. Just leave them sitting there. It's not like anybody's gonna walk off with them.
Don't worry, Jacques. Soon God will exact his revenge upon us for our imperfections.
Lori and Swinton actually seem to decide to leave Drew in the cafe. They did show us just earlier that Drew is profoundly emotionally impacted by this film. However, she does see the portal and eventually manages to drag herself into it. In the cave, she apologizes to Nimbar, and Lori explains It's a Wonderful Life to Nimbar, a classic movie about a guardian angel that shows a man what the world would be like if he had never been born.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right.
The Sentinels leap right up on their transo discs, rare enthusiasm from them, and asks who's on the menu today. Nimbar says, nobody. Gorganus is not attacking. So why did he call them there? The Galactic Sentinel teams must undergo what's basically an annual performance evaluation, an overview of their performance thus far. Don't worry, I know exactly what you're thinking. Trust me, I was afraid of exactly the same thing. Yes, they show some clips from previous episodes, but it's just short little battle sequences, and the plot moves on from it quickly. One little nitpick though. Nimbar criticizes Lori for doing an unnecessary flip in the middle of a battle. It's funny because unnecessary flips were a thing that Power Rangers was doing, so it's a thing that this show overdid. But I swear that he either called her Scorpion or Scorpia. 40 episodes in, the finale, and you don't even know what her name is.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
The Sentinels are irritated with being critiqued, saying they don't do this job just to be picked on.
Number one.
No, you do this job to protect the Earth and the galaxy.
Number two.
Nimbar actually praises his team on a regular basis, so they are being whiny, stuck-up Beverly Hills teenagers, which is exactly what we know about their characters after 39 episodes. Nimbar sends the team back to Beverly Hills, but says maybe he should be their guardian angel, showing them what the world would be like if Gorganus was victorious. To do that, No! You put that thing away, Nimbar! I didn't need to see that even one more time!
That's nasty.
The Sentinels emerge from the upstairs cafe portal and see posters lining the wall of Gorganus and signs saying, "All hail Gorganus, all praise Gorganus." The Sentinels realize that since they've been gone, Gorganus has conquered the Earth. The Sentinels aren't really quiet about their realizations though, which would probably be a good idea. Gordon sees his mother, who has her hair tied back oddly, and asks her what's going on, but she just gives a chest salute and says, "Hail Gorganus!" At the school, the students are all walking around doing that Hail Gorganus salute to each other, and the Sentinels don't do it back when it's done to them. Okay, come on, you folks are basically behind enemy lines at this point. I'm sure that some people not doing the salute would be reported to the authorities. Have you not seen any enemy state takes over fiction? The Sentinels are just confused why anyone is even at the school, seeing as it's supposed to be winter break, but apparently Emperor Gorganus values education over time off in his regime. Gordon's mother comes over the intercom, stating that she is the special envoy to Emperor Gorganus. She reminds the student body that failure to report sightings of the Galactic Sentinels is punishable by a trip to the labor mines. How did Gorganus take over Earth and not defeat the Galactic Sentinels?
Who knows? Not me. Who cares? Ditto Mark.
And hey, look, it's that thing what I said come true. Imagine that. The Sentinels get nervous, and when they fail to repeat Henley's "Have a wonderful Gorganus life" salute, the other students start to get suspicious. They allow the Sentinels to leave for some reason, but they do form a menacing crowd. On Molecula, the real Molecula outside the hologram, they can see what Nimbar is doing, and Gorganus takes his chance to act. He will match the frequency, wavelength, multimodal reflection sorting of the hologram, enter it, and trap the Sentinels inside. Why, it's so easy, even Lechner can understand. The Sentinels head to Drew's house, and Aunt Nicole doesn't seem to be around, so it's safe. There's actually some nice tension in this episode. The Sentinels start going back over what they've done today, trying to find where things went wrong. When Lori remembers telling Nimbar about It's a Wonderful Life, Drew finally pieces it together. This isn't real. Nimbar's just playing guardian angel.
It's a fake.
They lose the plot a little bit at this point, saying that Nimbar is doing this to show his appreciation of them, how valuable they are. I actually took it as precisely the opposite. Nimbar is showing them why they need to work harder and not be so dismissive of criticism. Though Swinton then says that they'll listen to that critique more closely, so... Lori says if none of this is real, she can go back to the cafe. Hey, she left all her Christmas presents there.
You're stupid.
You just said that none of this is real. Your Christmas presents are not in the cafe that you currently have access to. I mean, it is nice that you remembered the Christmas presents after I mentioned that you just left them sitting there, but you can't get to them from here. All you can do right now is kind of scream up at the sky, "Okay, Nimbar, thank you, we get it, can we come out now?" But no, they head to this version of the cafe, now jovial and relieved. Though it's only now, in mockery, that they return the Hail Gorganus salutes. Gordon even mockingly praises his mother for being such a great special envoy. And hey, Lori says, that's high praise coming from a galactic sentinel. Gorganus contacts the cafe via a projection. One of those weird projections that gets wide and fat, but then gets tall and skinny. What is this, a funhouse mirror? And wisely plays directly into the narrative of the hologram. All, "I have deigned to contact you today, and this is a day of great rejoicing." Gordon's mom throws her son directly under the bus, exposing him and the others as Galactic Sentinels. They laugh it off, telling Nimbar that he can stop pretending to be Gorganus now, until Gorganus explains that
we will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical.
Oops! The Sentinels backtrack on the whole being the Galactic Sentinels thing. Blah, 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 Gorganus is going to send a portal to pick up the Galactic Sentinels. Gordon tries to appeal to his mother, but oddly, the whole time through the hologram, she's very robotic, emotionless, and of course, it doesn't work. The portal opens and the Sentinels don't want to go through, but Swinton suddenly says that they should. Trust him. He's a superior being?
Excuse me, the f did you just say?
Gordon thinks about it a second and picks up on what Swinton is hinting at, telling the girls that they should follow, and they all go through. So, what was Swinton hinting at? You don't know because I didn't include the reference. One of Nimbar's more annoying quirks is referring to himself as a superior being. He did it during The Psychiatrist, when Dr. Clampton said that he wanted the opportunity to study an alien mind. Nimbar corrected him to a superior alien mind. And he did it during this episode to support his right to test the Sentinels. We head back to Molecula, where Gorganus sees what's been done. Nimbar has resorted his multimodal reflections, matching the frequency wavelength of his portal to make one of Nimbar's portals look like one of Gorganus's, which means that it was slightly darker. Which doesn't really matter because we've never seen one of Gorganus's portals. The Sentinels are now safe. However, all Gorganus has to do is get Nimbar to send a portal, and then he can resort the resorted reflections that Nimbar resorted, and maybe get the Sentinels back in the hologram? I don't know. Okay, no. What he's actually trying to do is cross-reference his portal with Nimbar's portal, and then he can find out where the cave is.
I could set up a frequency harmonic between the deflector and the shield grid using the warp field generator as a power flow anti-attenuator.
So, which of his diabolical creatures will Gorganus send to Earth to get Nimbar to open a portal? Come on, heroes. This is the show's finale. Gorganus grabs Dark Caliber, I don't care that the show doesn't call it that, that's what I'm calling it, and declares that he's going to Earth himself.
Yes! That's awesome!
This is how you do a friggin' finale! No Snake Trooper, no Q Libra, no Isolus, no Neuragula, no the Sorcerer, no Ninjabot, no Voldek, no Slagar! No Octodroid, no Pretoraptor. Yeah, that's right, 40 episodes, only 10 monsters, and remember, Snake Trooper was only used in that two-parter. By the by, I remembered 7 of those off the top of my head, only forgetting Pretoraptor, Octodroid, and Slagar! Totally not 90s dude is gonna be pissed. Sorry, anyway, it is time for the man himself. I think he's a man. Anyway, why send a monster to do an emperor's job? I have been waiting for this for 16 months, and for the show to deliver it in its finale is just chef's friggin' kiss. Anyway, yes, the portal did deliver the Sentinels back to Nimbar's cave in the real world, and after a little bit too much talking, Swinton admits that he was guessing about the portal.
Guessing is not in my nature, Doctor.
An alarm goes off. We've never really heard an alarm in the cave before, but to be fair, the Sentinels usually aren't there when a monster attacks, and Nimbar shows them and tells them that Gorganus is attacking the Earth. Good, Lori says. We can finally end this. You heroes have no clue how amped I am to see this fight. Nimbar knows that Gorganus knows that he knows that Gorganus is trying to find him, but says the Sentinels can prevent that by destroying Gorganus's arm console. After Gorganus gleefully zaps some buildings, the Sentinels show up and say, "You wanted us? You got us." He zaps at them and they dodge. I started to worry that this was just going to be another zap fest, until my mind landed on the most glorious of possibilities. Gorganus versus Nitron. And heroes, that is precisely what they did. The Sentinels do not waste a second of time forming Nitron immediately. And this battle is glorious! Do you remember me mentioning in the Cold episode that Nitron's fight with Isolus only lasted 13 seconds? This fight lasts 2 full minutes. Swords clashing, shields bashing, they jump on buildings. The 90s effects are used to perfection. The lights flashing with the swords clashing.
That was totally wicked!
Finally, Nitron is knocked down with Gorganus standing over it, holding both Mega Caliber and Dark Caliber. He tosses his own sword aside, deciding to destroy the Sentinels with their own weapon.
Should have left while you had the chance.
As Gorganus raises the sword, Nitron manages to resummon its shield. Gorganus fires a continuous beam through Mega Caliber, something that I wasn't aware that it could do. However, the most useless shield in the galaxy saves the day, reflecting the beam back at Gorganus. We see his electrified skeleton, and then he's portaled away. Unfortunately, the Sentinels aren't exactly psyched at their huge victory, just relieved that it's all finally over. Except that it's not over. No, the Sentinels did not kill Gorganus, they just sent him home. Nimbar says that if Gorganus did successfully get the coordinates of the cave, he'll be sending a Baldarian portal torpedo to blow them all up in about 7 seconds. And he spent about 5 telling them that, so 2, 1...
What happened? Someone set up us the bomb.
However, it turns out that nobody set them up the bomb. Gorganus portals back to Molecula, but when Lechner asks him if he got the coordinates of the cave, Gorganus doesn't know what he's talking about. Not only that he doesn't have the coordinates, he doesn't seem to remember that that was the plan.
Excuse me, what?
They don't explain. The Sentinels realize that Gorganus doesn't have the coordinates and begin to celebrate their greatest victory. Nimbar, of course, says that they have passed their evaluation and they can now go home and enjoy the results. They head back to the cafe where there are, of course, no longer posters of Gorganus or anything like that. Gordon sees his mom, whose hair is back down, and she's, of course, completely normal and everything's fine. Drew says, "It's a wonderful life," and points out that she had to say it. And as this episode and this series comes to an end, here's something that I have to say. Let's read the signs. Episode 40, Finale. It's a Gorganus life. Pros, a very clever combination of holiday special and series finale, an epic final battle, and Drew's believable emotion. Cons, no resolution in the show's finale, takes a while to get to the action, and whiny Sentinels. 40 episodes, and it finally happened. It almost lost it with that ending, but not quite. Heroes, It's a Gorganus life gets 5 signs out of 5. This is one of the most clever episodes of tokusatsu that I have ever seen, and I do not say that lightly. The idea to use a Christmas special to work in this kind of story is just astoundingly smart. The Sentinels see their world at its absolute worst and face the specter of their failure. Then Gorganus nearly makes it a reality, finally taking matters into his own hands, and we get a glorious final battle. The only real downside to this episode is the ending. The entire episode builds up to this being it. The big battle, the final conclusion, the final countdown, da-da-da-da. But no, in the end, it just resets. Gorganus goes back to Molecula, the Sentinels go back to Beverly Hills, and it just ends there. You definitely could feel like there would be another episode after this one. This definitely feels more like a season finale than a series finale. I don't know if they were expecting or even hoping to get a second season, but you should never feel like your series finale can just be slotted in anywhere. But in the end, I don't think there is a better single example of what this show could be. Drew's emotion over the movie was genuinely charming. The Sentinels' fear of the changed world gives way to overconfident laughter, showing that they are flawed human beings. And that fight between Gorganus and Nitron, I don't care if it was 2 stuntmen flopping their way around a miniaturized city set. Beast Morphers has had multiple Zord fights that were not that engaging. So, thus ends Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. However, there are actually 2 more videos coming for this show. Every season that I review is wrapped up by a season conclusion video, and I think that one is definitely warranted here. So, what's the other video?
I've got it! Arson!
You see, I'm just not satisfied with the fact that this show doesn't have an ending. And what do creative people do when they don't like the ending or aren't satisfied that there isn't one? They write it themselves. Yes, heroes, I have decided to write my own final episode for this show to give it something that it sorely lacked. Resolution! But those are videos coming out sometime in the future around the return of Beast Morphers, a comically long review, and a backlog of toy reviews. For now, this show is complete. So thank you so much, heroes, for watching my reviews of Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. And I mean that. Whatever my reasons were for reviewing this show, I knew I was taking a chance by doing it. An obscure little 90s Power Rangers ripoff that hardly anyone remembers except as a target of mockery. I'm hoping that these reviews have shown you some of the more positive aspects of this show. The odd charm that it has, the more adult topics that it tackled. This show took a lot of chances, and it ended up being one of the longest running Power Rangers spin-offs because of that. And that is going to wrap up the final Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. And again, I mean that whether you've been watching from the very beginning, in the beginning, or this is the first one that you've watched, I really appreciate you folks tuning in. Now that this episode and this series is over, you can let me know down in those comments below what you thought of my review of this episode, and my reviews of this season, and what you thought of Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills as a whole. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. But now I think I might have some other things to attend to, so until next time, may the power portals protect you. Maybe he forgot?
Gonna say that's a no.
Quite correct, you annoying alligator. I've been doing my homework, and I've got just the thing for you.
All right, showtime, you two. Any ideas?
All we could find were some ancient scroll texts about disputes over magic going to some kind of...
Hear my call, great magical arbiter!
Yeah, that's the one.
A curse has been placed and the terms violated. I call a magical disresonance and request a review.
Orange Ranger, your fight against evil has been very heroic. Your efforts against lackluster works of fiction are greatly appreciated.
Thanks?
However, you do make use of magic, just as your enemies do. What are you talking about? The kid ain't no magician. He uses doodad techno-whatsies.
No, Chomsky, they're right. Well, sort of. It's kind of both. It's called techno-magic. You see, I always envied Linkara's Image Becomes Reality spell, how it allows him to use toys as weapons and tools. But, like you said, I'm no magician.
What Sean is a technician. He managed to create some technology that made a techno-magical field that works basically the same way as Image Becomes Reality.
Amazing feats of technology, but using magic nonetheless. If you had avoided the use of magic altogether, this would be considered an unfair attack upon you. However, since you do use magic, you two are equals in a fair fight. Therefore, the rules of magic must be followed.
So what are you saying? Just because I use techno-magic, he gets my reviewer's energy?
Exactly!
No.
What?
Your curse required this young man...
Sir? I'm 37.
And I have overseen the use of magic since ages eternal. This young man was required by your challenge to complete the review of the show that you laid out for him. As of this point, he has completed that challenge. He shall not lose his reviewer's energy.
But he cheated! The challenge was to complete the reviews within one hiatus period. Instead, he sent me to another dimension, putting off the time it would take me to come and collect.
I am aware of that, or I would not even be here. Orange Ranger, you violated the terms of the original curse. You did complete the challenge successfully. You will not lose your reviewer's energy. However, there must be a cost for your transgression.
A cost?
Indeed. You must lose something that has been of assistance to you.
Oh, is that all? A morpher, a blaster, heck? Take the tricorder. Kaizoku's already pretty good at scanning. That's not a big deal.
No, young man, you fail to understand. You must not lose something that you have made use of. You must lose something that has been of assistance.
I'm getting bored over
Silence!
I'm not sure I understand.
Kid? I'm pretty sure he means us.
No. No. I will not choose between the two of them. I choose myself.
The curse was placed on you. You cannot be the one sacrificed. That would be akin to the original curse coming true, and you have completed those terms. I am afraid it must be one of your robotic assistants, for they are powered by techno-magic. Kid, come on, just pick me. If you think about it, I was kind of an accident coming through that gun and flipping through your Super Nintendo and all. No, pick me. Chomsky is more equipped to help defend you than I am. Now that Silver Skull is back, defense is even more important. But I don't know about that scanning and stuff you do, Bolts. You are more
Quiet, both of you! I'm not choosing between you. You both matter to me. Arbiter, if you must take one of my friends away from me, I ask you to do it at random.
Very well. Kaizoku, Chomsky, please move directly into the center of my line of sight. I want you two to know that I do deeply regret this, but I'm afraid the rules of magic are immutable. Ha! Kid, no! Sean, move! You can't! He dives and makes the save.
What? I am... You... Totally not 90s, dude! What have you done?
Sure, dude. You couldn't take the fall for this. And it wouldn't be fair for the Robo Bros to do it either. Listen, my existence is a part of this series, man. My moment in the spotlight is like over. This just makes too much sense.
But you have a life. You have a purpose. You've been a part of this family for 40 episodes, and there's more 90s material to review.
And somewhere, some way, dude, I promise you, I'll be watching. Keep it radical.
No! No! Not that fool! His reviewer's energy or one of the bots! I demand satisfaction! Your demands hold little weight with me, villain! Be gone!
Is he... No. He has a right to exist and to use magic. As your friend here so eloquently put it earlier, I didn't kill him, I just sent him home. Hey, should have zapped him into the sun if you ask me. You might be surprised to learn, small creature, that the friend you so readily sacrifice yourself for and that terrible villain are not so different as they seem. What? They are nothing alike. What are you talking about? Some secrets, tiny friend, are not mine to reveal. This result has been deemed acceptable. Adjudication is complete. Sean?
Are you okay? I brought him pizza once. It was a pepperoni pizza. He told me that the pepperoni gives him gas. But he said, "Thanks, dude." Anyway, I was gonna bring him a Hawaiian pizza to celebrate wrapping up the series.
All we could find were some ancient scroll texts about disputes for All we could find were some ancient scroll.
That works basically the same way as image becomes reality. Image becomes reality. Image becomes reality.
Why?
Sean?
Wait, oh God. My moment in the spotlight is over. And we still didn't win! He still We had to act like him to beat him. I still just hate that. And it... No, Chomsky, they're right. Well, it's kind of both. Image becomes real... I always really envied Linkara's ability.
This young man was required to conclude the silence! I can be quiet. You know how they say, keep your shirt on? I'm trying.
I told you I'd be back, orange fool! I don't know why, but I am!
Whew. And that's gonna be unnecessary flips where things that power is the Sentinels are irritated with being critiqued, The Sentinels are just confused why anyone is even at the school since it's supposed to be She reminds the student body that failure to She reports to the student farts. And when they fail to repeat Henley's farting fart, telling the girls that they should all go through with him. That's nice. Gordon picks up the mail. Finally, Nitron is not narked. As he raises the sword, Nitron manages to resummon its shield. Oh, and by the way, the Sentinel, oh yeah. They don't explain. The Sentinels